Hello, human being, human, mortal, person, soul, Homo sapien, earthling, higher animal, living person. Welcome to part 2. In case you're inept, enjoy this greatest hits audio reel from part 1.
So the legendary band that we're talking about today is the great Def Leppard. But
Sam,
I'm doing great. And dudes who have enough game to ensure they're surrounded by the ladies at all times.
I was like, Def Leppard.
Yeah. Yeah, you made me
awesome.
a mixtape.
I was courting you. Wow.
You like that?
What was that?
Yeah.
I like that.
10's a weird album.
Okay, but that's out of context.
Huh?
Come on!
Yeah.
Come on, Lee! Come on! That movie's really bad.
Yeah, but I love it. Especially...
Why?
There's a lot of yes.
That sounds rad.
Yeah, man. I'm Mutt.
You're Mutt, I'm Joy, and I'm singing very subpar. This will be easy for me, though.
Yeah. So...
You got the best of me!
And I'm saying, like, no, you gotta go higher, man.
Oh, okay.
You got the best of me. Oh, can't you see?
Photograph.
Huh?
Photograph.
Brilliant song. Def Leppard are the Mutt's nuts. That's where Shania kicked him?
Oh, man.
After he cheated on her?
What? Wait, what?
I know. How do you cheat on Shania?
I hit it.
I've got some YouTube comments.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about all the work Mikey put into this.
No, let's just do my parts. Mikey's rocking.
Betsy Ross,
I'm the boss.
look in my eyes. Don't break eye contact.
I don't know. Like, obviously, we've discussed these things. Like, you've done.
Yeah,
you've
but I
done
need
great.
you to compliment me on the air so that everybody hears how great I am. Play make love. Do you look in the mirror? Who you think
Suck it.
All right.
And now, enjoy number 2. Gravity or gravity.
Hey there. If you want to listen to this clip, you're gonna have to go download the album. If you dare. It's pretty shitty. Hence the purpose of this podcast. Anyway, back to the show.
Mr. Phil Collin is the main writer along with Elliot, and even producer Pete Woodruff had a hand in this one. This is a cool, funky track. Like it sounds cool. It's got a cool track, like backing track. I like the ding, I like all that. I'm really realizing that doesn't sound like anything else on the record, but also anything else in their catalog. Feel like something. Let's do a fun one.
Yeah.
There was actually a demo version of this song that was circulating back then. That was a bonus track called "Perfect Girl." That's on YouTube. YouTube, if you want to look for it. Big Def Leppard fans, like Sammy, which had alternate lyrics and a different chorus. I thought it wasn't terrible. You hated it, eh?
Yeah.
You should have seen the faces he was making when this little chorus was playing. Why did you hate it so
I'm
much?
sorry, Phil. I like Phil. I like Phil
cool.
Collin.
Yeah. They're all good guys.
Yeah,
They all
yeah.
seem like really sweet guys.
Yeah, and that's a thing. Like, they're obviously listening. So, guys,
Yeah. Well, Phil will be while he's working out.
Phil's a cool... How cool is that? Dude's like 60?
60 and he's
Ripped.
ripped. He is cut.
I want to look like that now. Like,
Yeah.
that dude is an inspiration.
You don't? Lift up your shirt. Wow! That was me, not a Joe drop. Anything? Do you want...
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on. You don't like the song. So Tyann Gibson 1 year ago says, epic tune. Love all. Def, thanks for the tunes. The words I get. Thanks. Hopefully my kids get the gift. Hopefully my kids get the gift? What does that mean? I don't know. Def Pickles.
Def Pickles?
98, 4 years ago, says, this was way better than all the crappy pop music that came out in 2002. This should have been huge.
Leopard.
Leopard. I think your idea of them giving the song like Gravity
Yes.
to another band,
Yes.
it would have been huge.
Yes. See, and that's...
But them doing
thank you.
it,
Thank you for saying that. So Phil,
I've already. It's like the third time I've said it.
Phil, I like your song. No, but in this case, because I felt bad that this is like Phil Collins' song.
Oh, he's got some others that I'm sure you love.
Okay.
Def
Leopard.
I'm sorry. This is my favorite. I can't believe it took me so long.
Is
to
that
do
still
this.
Joe Dirt?
No, this
No.
is Dave Chappelle.
Leopard.
You don't remember this one?
No. What special is that from? Or is it from his show?
No, this is from the show. This
Show the
is
show?
from the third
Chappelle show?
season that never that they released after the fact.
Yeah.
And they had the commentary in there to talk about like why he didn't like it and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And this
Was that the reason he didn't come out? I thought he was just burnt.
no. So
And
this
it was all
it was actually
network crap that he.
no. This episode, this sketch was the reason. So while they were doing this sketch where he's dressed up as like a bullfighter or something.
Okay.
And they're making all these racial jokes as they do, right? And then
on the Chappelle show?
yeah,
you
he
sure?
said he had made a joke and somebody on this set laughed in a certain way, and he was like, "Oh, he's not laughing with us.
Like an evil way?
Like he's laughing at. Like he's not laughing with." And it just like, it changed it for him. And he was just like, I don't know. I don't like this. Like, I don't want to do this.
Wow.
Because, and it just became like, yeah. And it was actually this sketch, but it's hilarious.
Now where's the Chappelle show? That's way after 2002. This Leopard record we're doing, right? When's Chappelle's show? Is that 10-ish?
no, that's-
2010-ish?
No,
really?
I'm
Because
trying to
this is
remember now.
17 years ago. Was Chappelle's show 17 years ago? For real?
Wait.
Wow.
Honestly, I can't even.
I can't remember either.
I can't
but
even put
I've got
it
them on
together.
DVD at home.
Yeah. I love them. And actually, I can't say the word leopard without being like, leopard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Sarah hates it. She absolutely hates
because
that.
she's a big Def Leppard fan like me.
Yeah, exactly. Leopard.
Leopard.
As soon as we decided to do this episode, I was
looked
like,
for that.
oh man,
That's
I get
great.
to use this.
Oh, to me, like as soon as we decided to do Def Leppard, I was like, I gotta look for the Kid Rock Joe Dirt drop.
Yeah.
Def Leppard sucks.
That one's good too because it's got other good parts that I haven't used yet. But.
Excellent. Adiata Rebla Handari, 6 years ago, says best pop album ever? Question mark.
Good for you.
And Shelby Williams, 7 years ago, says, is it possible to marry a band?
That's a dumb comment.
Next song is called Cry.
Yeah.
Colin is the dominant writer here as well, so be nice.
Okay.
So this is one of two tracks that really sound like kind of a throwback to that classic kind of Leopard sound, in my opinion.
Okay. That's really interesting that you say that because I was thinking, once I heard this song, in my notes, it was like, I said, yeah, something about how like it's making me miss the old album.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just because I hated it so much.
Do you hate old Def Leppard
No,
albums?
but
It's like kind of
but
what
why?
you're
Like,
implying.
just it's interesting that I thought of old Leopard,
Yeah.
or I should say old Leopard.
There's another song coming
Yeah.
up as well that I feel like were throwbacks to that sort of classic Leopard sound, songwriting, everything, I thought.
I think you just broke it wide open, though, is what I'm saying, is this idea of like this, I guess.
open, worms everywhere.
I guess it made me miss the old tunes because it was a bit more reminiscent than the other songs were.
No idea why you're explaining yourself again. I
didn't understand that.
I
Oh,
understood
really?
exactly
I'm
what
sorry.
you're saying. No, that's cool. I thought it was some nice guitar work by Colin and Campbell. Cool, heavy,
How do you feel
moody
about
track.
how do you feel about Vivian?
I'm next track. I'm going to go on
Oh,
a Vivian
okay.
tangent.
Wow.
I dug it like a day off. This song. I like to cry. I thought it was cool.
Good for you.
You hated it. Because it reminds you of old Def Leppard, which you hate.
Now I'm so confused.
I'm kidding. Just busting your balls. Robert Boxley, 6 months ago, says, I'm here because I'm trying out new music. And I can honestly say this shit better than a lot of rap music.
Better than what?
Rap.
Oh man, get lost.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm here to discover new music. This album came out in 2002, Dick. Robert Boxley.
You suck.
Suck a bag of peen. David Kurda,
man.
2 months ago, says, I'm just a normal little 8-year-old girl following my dad's path. He loved this song when he was little. And Marie Bellucci, 2 years ago, says, it breaks my heart to see all that pop and R&B and rap topping the charts. What on God's name happened to rock ruling the world, man?
Suck it.
All right, we're in the home stretch. Girl Like You.
This one's about Mikey.
So good. So, one Mr. Vivian Campbell is the main writer on this one.
Yay, good
So
for you.
even all those like background vocals and stuff is predominantly Vivian.
Really?
Fun fact, Joe Elliott doesn't do any of them. All those lower,
Really?
those layered, hey, and stuff, yeah. None of that is Joe.
Why?
Because they always wanted to make sure it didn't sound like just him over and over again. So on the first album, On Through the Night, all those harmonies like are all him.
Are you trying to say that just sounds like just sounds like me? That doesn't sound like 20 other people?
No, it's just Phil Collin over and over and over again.
Fine.
That's awesome. What a cool little
That took me a while.
preamp thing.
I made that.
That's awesome. You made that?
Of course I did, Mikey. Nothing is
ding-dang.
stock. Know that. Nothing is ever
That
stock.
wasn't in a library somewhere.
That was not. That was, I made that effect with a little.
That wasn't sitting right next to the loops they use for this album.
That's me using Ableton Live. Shout out to the people at Ableton Live.
Ableton Live.
That is the
Dang.
software we use to do this wonderful show.
That's awesome.
And it lets us do all these cool, fun tricks.
Heck yes, I love this trick. Campbell was an integral part of early Dio records. He's got some famous shredding solos that are famous from things like Holy Diver and stuff.
That's him?
Yeah, that's him. He was a part of Whitesnake for a hot minute and had a number of side projects like River Dogs, Shadow King with Lou Gramm from Foreigner. I had that on cassette tape because I loved Lou Gramm and I loved Vivian Campbell and I didn't know they were in a band together. That's how lame I am.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool sounding track with some cool little ideas, like all the layered vocals and sort of stuff. But I don't like the song like at all. You?
Which song was this? I'm so sorry.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch,
I'm doing a lot of things over here, Mike. I don't know. I've got, I'm writing
You're
an
too busy
essay
playing
on the
with your
side.
Ableton? I'm making an omelet. Girl Like You.
I actually
is the
have
check.
forgettable on a lot of my notes,
Yeah,
and
Girl Like You's bad.
you just that was just real time. Okay, Girl
Vivian-
Like You.
Yeah.
Am I expecting too much from Def Leppard? Like,
Well, not from this album. This is the one that landed on our Check the Credits radar. No, don't expect too much from the turd. What's wrong with you?
Okay. It's just, absolutely forgettable.
Yeah, it's
like
not-
I
it's not
forgot
good.
about it literally
Instantly.
a minute after we heard it.
Vivian Campbell.
Yeah. So,
Overqualified for Def Leppard, as far as I'm concerned.
oh wow.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Really?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask your opinion. That's all.
So, you have no opinion
I have
on
no
Vivian
opinion.
Campbell? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not a big fan. I wouldn't know the difference between Steve Clark and Vivian.
Oh, wow.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
what did that do to the sound? Actually, I should say, because I did watch Nikki Sixx has this show on YouTube.
yeah, my favorite ref or something.
Yeah.
And did you watch the Tom Morello one?
No.
There's an episode with Tom Morello.
I will absolutely. look it
Guy.
up.
You
Yeah.
watched the Phil Collin one?
I watched the Phil Collin one, and I love the part where he's just playing something and he's like, oh, that sounds so Leopard. Do you play that way for the band, or is that just the way you sound? He's like, yeah, it's just the way I sound. And I loved that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you can't just take Phil Collin away from Def Leppard and expect them to sound the same, right? Like the way he plays makes what they sound like. I absolutely love that about bands. It just adds another level of what makes special bands so special. If you don't have those people together, it doesn't sound like that.
Right.
So from when they went from actually even further back, like before Phil Collin, like
with Pete Willis and
like
Steve Clark,
right. Like how do you feel that progression went? Do you feel like that you could, if you just heard the guitar parts, you'd be like, oh, that's a different Leopard? Or like, do you feel like they kept a consistency through all those changes?
No, I would say there's a big change. Yeah, I would say that without Phil Collin, I mean, a lot of those solos on Rock of Ages and Photograph and
Right.
stuff, they don't happen, right? Because
Yeah.
obviously with Willis's drinking issues and stuff. But for me, a big thing was Steve Clark. To me, was like, gosh, so good. And just, it's the way he looked, the way he played,
Yeah.
that Les Paul down around his knees. Like, he was just so Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He was just so rock and roll. And I remember January of 91. And I remember being in my old man's truck in a Canadian Tire gas station.
Okay.
And the radio was on. And I heard that Steve Clark was found dead at his house in London. And I remember at like 10 years old just being...
That's amazing that you remember that.
Devastated that Steve Clark was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So up until Steve Clark being gone, there's a sound, and then him and Phil Collin played together differently than the way he did with Pete Willis, and then Phil Collin and Vivian Campbell's dynamic is way different as well.
So what I've always loved is the fact that they don't do the sort of like, you're the rhythm guy,
Yeah.
and I'm the lead guy.
Right.
The interplay between the two
Yeah.
is always blows my mind,
Yeah.
and like I absolutely love that
Yeah.
that idea.
Yeah, it's great. And I mean, now being like, so many years that Vivian's been in the band.
Yeah.
He plays the solos that Steve used to play, like, and he's starting to sort of embellish a little bit. But it took him a long time for him to sort of interject his own sort of style and his own flavor into those solos. Because Vivian Campbell, he is a monster. Like, all of those guys in the 80s that could play like that,
Yeah.
that he was one of them.
Yeah.
So Vivian Campbell, like, he destroys Phil Collin as a guitar player, like, just technically speaking, he does. But in Def Leppard, I feel like he really doesn't let go. He really doesn't show what he can do. I don't know if that's just like, well, Def Leppard isn't that kind of band, really.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Every now and then, there is some, like, quote unquote shredding that'll happen from Campbell, and you're just like, damn.
Yeah.
Phil Collins sort of like a one-trick pony. Great guy, great guitar player, but kind of has this same guitar solo that he does for pretty much every guitar solo.
Okay.
That really fast, sort of like pentatonic kind of playing.
Yeah.
Whereas Vivian Campbell's more like legato and smooth, a lot of bends, using all these tricks and tapping. Like, he's just coming from that school
Yeah.
of
And
shredders.
different scales. Like,
Just
he'll use like an
different-
Aeolian or something.
Yeah. Like, Vivian Campbell is overqualified for Def Leppard.
So doesn't that go against the aesthetic then that they have, which is we're the sound of these guys?
No, I don't think so, because there was a lot of guitar players that were auditioning to take over for Steve Clark.
Yeah.
After he passed away, and guys like Adrian Smith, who's a monster guitar player as well from Iron Maiden. Adrian Smith can't sing. Vivian Campbell can sing. And he
right.
can sing really well.
Yeah.
He sings really well, actually.
Okay.
So I think that probably helped getting him the job. And if you watch any kind of old Leopard documentaries and stuff, they say, like, more than anything than being like an Olympian athlete at your instrument, can we all get along?
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to get on? He had the same kind of sense of humor. He just got on with the guys that it just fell in nicely.
Yeah.
But Vivian Campbell sort of fell into a band that was already sort of an established thing. This is a brand.
Yeah.
This is our sound. He didn't like help create the Def Leppard
But
sound.
after a while, like I get right away.
Yeah.
But after a while, wouldn't it be cool, especially because really, like, I don't know, Slang On, or maybe even Adrenalize. What was before Slang?
Yeah, Adrenalize.
Adrenalize
Yeah.
On. It feels like they were always trying to like find their way. Like it always kind of seemed like that. Like
I think Steve Clark smoked him. I think losing him smoked him. And I think a lot of like diehard Leopard fans, if there are any that is listening to this, a lot of them feel like they were never the same after Steve Clark. And I would have to agree.
Yeah, but wouldn't you then try to let whatever Vivian Campbell can bring become the new sound?
Yeah, I feel the same way with something like...
Maybe they would have gotten heavier or something?
Sure. And I feel like the same way with Robert Trujillo.
Yeah.
No,
yes.
He's been in Metallica for how long now? And he's 2004, we're
Yeah.
talking maybe? He's been in the band like, dude, that's a long time ago now.
So Lars...
I feel like he hasn't been showcased either.
Right.
Vivian Campbell's been in the band since 92.
Wow.
His first gig with the band was the Freddie Mercury tribute. That was his first gig with Def Leppard. That was like the first time everybody saw the new guitar player was on stage in front of, I don't know how many squillions of people are in that, in that crowd. Jason Newsted.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I would like to see like, well, what would a Def Leppard record sound like if Vivian Campbell was sort of in charge?
Exactly.
You know, that'd be interesting for sure.
Yes.
I definitely agree. But I don't know, man. I think there's a paycheck there. He's a great singer.
I just think why not? I mean, you're trying to find your way.
Yeah.
You're trying to, figure out what your next, sound or approach is going to be.
And it could be just that he's home and they're home. And there's a little bit like we get together and we fall into our places and our roles. Yeah. And unlike maybe like a band like U2 who are just like, we got to try and challenge ourselves here. Yeah. Def Leppard probably aren't doing that. Yeah. Their last album being a pretty good example of that. 2015 already. I can't believe it's that long already, but it was just called Def Leppard. Yeah. And it was back to their 80s sound again. And it's like, there's a couple of songs on that record that aren't. Mm-hmm. That actually could have ended up on Slang or on this record. Yeah. Or on Songs for the Sparkle.
Did you like that? So you didn't like that album?
Not big on it. No. And I mean, my favorite album is the one that you hate. Yes. So it's interesting that like you'll lean more towards like the Pyromanias and the Hysterias. Yeah. And not that I don't like those records. I do. But when I hear Pyromania now, nothing to do with the songs, but sonically, it's just like, man, it's just so old sounding. I see. It just sounds bad. That's funny. Because it's 1983.
That's really interesting.
But I love those songs.
Yeah, that's interesting because when I hear Slang, I feel that way.
Yeah, that's interesting to me because he's playing an acoustic kit.
Yeah. But
so that's aged way better than something that came out in 1983.
So, okay, getting into that though.
Yeah. Do we want to finish the track by track?
Okay, let's finish the track by track.
Should we?
I'm sorry, yes.
Vivian Campbell, great guitar player and great singer. So that was kind of his song, which was not good.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. YouTube, Shelby Wheeler, 4 years ago says, good gracious, ass bodacious. What? Chris Curry, 11 months ago says, golden days when girls shook what their mamas gave them and not what the doctors gave them.
I just got that.
And
I'm slow today,
Sampus Arndine, 4 years ago, says, the thermal energy contained within this space is rising beyond comfortable limits. Therefore, it is advised to remove all garments.
You know what I'm talking about.
Do you see what I did?
Yeah, no, that was good. Okay. Yeah, no, I liked it.
Okay. Yeah. There was no comments.
You sounded like a stewardess.
I couldn't find any comments for Girl Like You, so I took, it's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. Those were the comments from that.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Good gracious, ass bodacious?
Yeah, no, I just thought somebody was being dumb. That's why I just... Wow.
All right. See. You're fun. Let me be the one.
Can we tell everybody that I had a pretty rough morning?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, we should.
I had a very rough morning, people, but
Sammy
I'm still
woke up
here.
From a hangover.
I wish there was a reason why I felt so trash.
You must have been stressed, man. You wake up with a migraine like that?
It was brutal. Anyway, I'm here.
Put him on his ass. See how much he loves you guys?
I'm a little slow, though.
I'm a little slow.
I'm sorry.
I've actually had a sinus like nose thing all week. Do I get pity points for that too?
What?
Like I woke up on Monday morning talking like this, and I'm like, oh no, I've got a Leopard podcast to do. I should probably just do the remainder of the podcast like this. Let me be the one. Yeah, I'm gonna cry. Let Me Be the One is the next song that is up on our list. I'm just a little stuffed up, guys.
Oh, man. That's what you always sound like.
We sacrifice. I think it could have been left off this. It's been popping up in their set on their current tour, though. Meh. I did not like it at all.
What do I got for this?
Tell me you have a novel about Let Me Be the One.
So
this was the one that inspired you to
touch me with your animal grace.
Yeah, that's a Def Leppard lyric right there.
Wow.
It's classic Leppard shit.
Wow. Wow.
Stick ass weed.
Oh, man. Like, do they just not care about lyrics? Was that like from the very start?
Okay, so that's another thing why I like Slang. with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 songs on that record, there's some deeper, kind of darker lyrics on that record. So as a songwriter, I listen to something like All I Want Is Everything or Turn to Dust, and I'm like, there's a good lyric in there. Deliver Me, Pearl of Euphoria. There's some cool lyrics on the Slang records. Another reason why it doesn't bother me that much. But you have horrible taste in music, so anyway.
Yeah, I know. What do I know?
So lyrics are bad. That's your notes?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to YouTube. Miss Terry 3 months ago says, JBX question mark? Drop dead. Nobody on the planet will separate me and my true divine.
What?
Yep.
Did you do that thing? Is this about a different song?
No. What? That didn't make sense to you? Justin Tyler 2 years ago says, the day I see an African American in Lima listening to this will be the day I give up to find love.
What? What did he just say?
Yeah. Oh, you don't want me to read it again?
No, I don't.
Okay, good.
What?
Yeah.
Clown! You're a clown, dude. You're a clown.
Scar is our
Scar.
last song. Scar. Written about Uncle Scar from Lion King.
Hans,
Booby, I'm your white knight. What's that from, folks? Don't Google it, though. Every time we do this pop culture reference, you guys aren't allowed to Google it.
Yeah, never.
We have to trust that you just are trying to know what the answers are. And finally, Phil Collin, listed again as the dominant writer here, along with Joe. This was the second of the 2 that I felt that kind of had that classic Leopard sound.
Yeah, I've got that in my notes too.
Oh my God, no way!
Hey, I did it.
Fist bump.
I did something right.
Complete with Rick Allen's 80s signature snare.
I like the solo too.
Yeah, I'm going to get there. Big chorus, big vocals, definitely showing they can pull that out whenever they feel like it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool track.
Do that more, guys.
The back and forth trading guitar solos between Colin and Campbell is definitely nice to hear. It's really like the only shredding, I just air quoted, that happens on this record. I keep forgetting the medium.
Tell me.
With that being said, it kind of feels out of place here,
Yeah.
but it's fine. Like, strong ending to the album.
Yeah, that's all right.
Anything on Scar?
No, that's it.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts, diddly-doo. There they are, standing in a row. Dump, dump, dump.
Jordan Allen 1 year ago says, this song is awesome, and this song kicks ass, just like the rest of Def Leppard's music does.
Ow!
BP 1 year ago says, the real gem on an otherwise sketchy album. Love the Leps, but 10 was not the best thing.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
And finally, the final YouTube comment.
The final YouTube comment
Of the day
The
is-
final YouTube comment
Anthony Blake.
Give me one more for.
for the road.
Painful.
Yeah, I know, eh? One more for the road.
Anthony Blakely, 4 months ago, says, good band, straight out of Sheffield. Nice to see that here in 2019, that all of that sappy Tim McGraw and Taylor Swift collab nonsense is a thing of the past. These dudes are some of the last true hard rockers from a day when music still had talent and did not need a cause to support. The British are way too educated to form meaningful, lasting relationships with country musicians.
Wow.
Who stop just short of talent.
Wow.
Every able-bodied Caucasian American male, 14 years of age to about 68 years of age, to burn books, hunt runaway cats for fun, and to put a turd on top of the sundae.
What's happening right now?
Move out to the Smokies and live in a converted shipping container, waiting for Mad Max to be a reality. The Bumpkins are going to lead us into an outhouse hole that it will take a veritable miracle to pull out of. Hashtag bring back pop rock metal. Every time I hear country music, I feel as if I'm getting dumber and more depressed. Can't wait to hear what Def Leppard and AC/DC have in store for us over the next few years. I feel good.
Yeah.
That's the second, for the record, that's the second time somebody's mentioned race.
Why?
It's interesting though, eh?
Is it the first time?
No, the
I
second
felt
time.
like it kept coming up a lot.
Twice.
It was twice, 3 times maybe?
That
What?
time, he said.
Why? So
Well,
Def
maybe-
Leppard fans are racist?
No. I mean,
Wait,
I think
I'm a
it's,
Def Leppard fan.
Yeah, oh no.
Hey, it's another discussion.
I think, so to be fair to this guy, with his super long...
What is he on about?
I don't know, but maybe he's just talking about, the general demographic of Leppard is going to be a Caucasian male. So yeah, that's fair enough. But it's interesting
true.
that he felt like he should say it. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
I think you're giving him too much credit.
Oh, okay. So he's
An idiot. Some people suck, Sammy. Sometimes you don't have to give anybody benefits of the doubts or whatever. Sometimes they just suck.
Yeah.
Buddy sucks.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
I was
dude.
trying. I don't know.
Should we do the point system? Want to rate the album? There's 13 songs on here. Out of 13, what are you giving it? 12? 13? Is it a gold?
I'll give it a 2.
A 2? Wow.
Because I like the now making me
2 is low.
So
I don't know if that's fair.
All right. Hold on. Obviously, I didn't. Prepare,
Obviously, you didn't think
I
this
didn't
through.
prepare for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so now gets 1. 2. All right. What do you give it?
I liked Scar. I liked Now. That's 2. I liked. See, I don't. A lot of the songs aren't like absolute crap.
No, we've
I-
definitely looked at albums already that have been
That are worse.
way worse,
And worse sounding. You
And
know, that's one interesting thing.
that-
Like,
yeah.
when we talk about the Van Halen, even the Nas
The
record and
Nas
stuff,
one,
like
yeah.
sonically, this is actually a pretty decent sounding record. Like I said before, Def Leppard don't put out, shoddy sounding records.
right?
They spend a lot of time in the studio.
Yeah, no, okay, my 2 was too harsh. I'm reneging on the 2.
Okay, I would say I like that one too. I'm probably going to give it like a 4.5, a 5. I might give it a passing grade, actually. I might give it no.
No,
Out of 13, a 5 isn't a
Really?
passing grade. So
5? I think I could give it like a 4.
Yeah.
4.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 4 because the production was obviously well done.
Yeah.
There was at least one song that I actually liked,
Genuinely liked.
genuinely liked.
Yeah. That
Others-
was Now?
Yeah.
Now, okay.
Other songs that had like good moments.
Sure.
So
But so many of them should have been given away to other bands or artists, right?
yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like they could have really made a move at that point in time.
I never even thought of that. That's such an interesting idea. Man, they really should have.
Yeah.
Diana Lee would have agreed with you.
Yes.
I'll give it one more point higher. I'll give it a 5.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I liked a couple of the songs that you weren't big fans of. And I do like the production on it, some of it anyway. Especially when they use like the loop library. That's my favorite. And and I do like Leopard. So
Yeah, me too. And so
you do.
Yeah.
You do like Def
I do.
Leppard.
No, I do, of
Okay.
course. And like so we've listened to some. Okay,
So let's give me your recommendations. Let's lead into your recommendations for this band then.
Yeah.
Stay on that track.
Sure,
though.
sure. I'm still just sticking with Pyromania
Oh, really? Okay.
and what's the other one?
Hysteria.
Hysteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you would recommend. That's where they should start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep it. Start and kind of keep it there.
Okay. Can you elaborate what you were going to say though?
But I don't know anymore. What were you going to
For
say?
real?
Yeah,
No.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. I was just, it sounded like you were going to go on like previous records, recommendations and stuff. So I thought, well.
Oh, yeah, no, all I
What
was
did you
going to
have?
say,
Yeah.
in terms of like, so I remember the slang thing.
Yes.
Them being kind of bitter that they weren't being allowed to change, right? Why does U2 get to change so, drastically and stuff like that, and we can't? So I was giving it some thought, and I've got 2 different responses. One is the cynical one. So one is like, look, Leppard just aren't that cool. Like they've never been an arty band or influenced by anything other than trying to write the greatest rock song about rocking. Like that's like a thing for them. Obviously.
Not a whole lot of depth there.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how do you think that all of a sudden you're going to change and be credible with it and like, have some substance behind it?
Probably because you two are their peers.
They were, but U2 always had like art influences.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Unforgettable Fire. Remember that Unforgettable Fire, they got Brian Eno to produce it. Like that's crazy for like a, they're like a post-punk band with like, Boy and
But Bono always wrote lyrics that were tackling issues.
that's what I mean. So they always had like they had one foot in like the art world and also in the like a social political world, and so they had a lot more behind them to draw from to do that, whereas Leppard never did. So that's but still that's like the cynical kind of view. The more constructive, positive one is like, you don't get to invent a genre and kind of single-handedly shape what rock music sounds like for an entire decade.
Nearly,
and then think that you're going to be allowed to just change.
Right.
Like that, it's pivotal. Like, and obviously other bands were involved with that kind of movement, but they're such a huge part of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to think that you'd be allowed to just, okay, I know, we defined a decade.
Right.
But now we're just going to change because it's a new decade. Like that's a hard leap for anybody to do or anybody to accept. So I'll go with that because I like the dudes from Leppard. I'll say that's why, Joe. That's why you weren't allowed to change, because you were too important to an entire decade.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to get over that.
Yeah, that's interesting because like Adrenalize came out in '92. When did Nevermind come out? And Adrenalize went to #1, and that tour was huge, and they had several hit singles. So at the same time as something like Teen Spirit's taking over the radio.
That's interesting.
Let's Get Rocked is still like a #1 mainstream rock
Yeah,
thing.
and that's...
Now,
yeah,
it didn't last long.
No.
Like Hysteria was it 3 years on the charts or something?
That's ridiculous.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They actually tied that record with Born in the USA from Springsteen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean...
That's not normal. So
because
for
Slang is 1996.
Yeah.
Now, Cobain's been gone for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean like Cobain's gone. That means all those bands stopped
Right.
making music and stopped putting out things. But they definitely felt like we need to make a change. If they had put out an Adrenalize sounding thing, a Hysteria sounding thing in '96, what do you think would have happened?
I agree with you.
I think Slang is an important album for their survival. And at the end of the day, I love your answer and how I wish I would have said so many things you had said. At the end of the day, for me, because I'm a simpleton, it comes down to the songs.
Yeah.
And I like the songs on Slang.
Okay.
I do think that's a good song. Truth is a good song. Turn to Dust is a good song. Gift of Flesh, like that's a good song. And there's all this other crap that people throw at it, like, yeah, but Leppard are like, no, well, hold on. It's a good song though, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Are the lyrics good on that album?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
That's why I lean towards Slang being my favorite, because there's no...
Oh, that's right. You were mentioning
there's
that.
no garbage.
Before.
Now, there's moments on there, where there's still like, the song Slang is like slang with me is like a euphemism for like sex talk, like phone sex or something.
And they just made that up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was this thing in the video and everything was all supposed to be like this. Hey, we're still a fun band. But things like Truth and Turn to Dust, All I Want Is Everything's great songs. These are great lyrics, great songs. And I was like, okay, so Where Does Love Go When It Dies? Blood Runs Cold. It's a great song, great lyrics. So I was like, so they're in there.
Okay.
And then next album, they're right back to the,
Right.
because like the sugar sweet crap. And it's like,
would like something like Gods of War...
Yeah, I would say that's one of my favorite Leppard tunes from the old days. That was them tackling an issue.
I felt like that was so out of place.
Yeah,
like,
it was
what
out of
are
place.
you doing
Lyrically?
Yeah, what are you like?
Yeah,
why?
sonically.
Why? Like,
I know
would you do that?
I mentioned this thing. I don't know if it was before we started recording about that story of how they came up with the lyrics for "Pour Some Sugar on Me."
Yeah, how did they?
So Joe Elliott tells the story that him and Mutt had dictaphones, and they went on opposite sides of the studio, and just played the backing track and started like just mumbling nonsense, and then they switched them, and you had to like try and decipher what you thought the other guy was saying.
Come on.
And so Joe Elliott says, when I was going through Mutt's, it sounded like the first thing he was saying was "Love is like a bomb."
Okay. And what was he saying?
And there you go. Who knows?
He never said?
It was just gibberish.
Really?
It was just gibberish. So you're just scatting, right? You're mumbling over top of this track. And that's how they came up with the lyrics.
Wow.
So I know with Leppard, and I've heard Joe Elliott say, like, a lot of the times it's just a sound thing.
Yeah.
Like, we're mumbling over it, and it just sounded cool, or it fit phonetically or whatever. Like, they're not sitting down and going, we're going to tackle political terrorism. And like, they're just not that kind of band. They never were. And if you're into that kind of politically conscious type stuff, go listen to Rage Against the Machine, or U2.
Yeah.
Def Leppard's not going to give you that. Slang doesn't talk about anything like racism or political agendas or things like that. But they talk about loss and they talk about love loss because the guys are going through divorces at the time. So the lyrics are darker on that album. I like that.
They're not saying like mow the lawn, walk the dog.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful. Like I can't stand Let's Get Rocked. It's the worst song. I hate that song. Every time Pour Some Sugar on Me comes on, I skip. Dude, I hate that song.
And see, that's the thing. So that's another thing that came up with them, like listening to interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
And Joe saying like, I want this band to be, spoken about with Queen and with...
Sure, and they probably will be. And they've sold over 100 million records, man. That's a big band.
Yeah, but like not Zeppelin though.
No.
You know what I mean? Like not like...
The respect that...
Exactly. I feel like it's in a way their own fault because they said things like mow the lawn, walk the dog, to tidy your room in their songs.
And after Steve Clark had died.
Yeah.
That's on the Adrenalize record, and Phil Collin plays all the guitars on that record. There's nobody else on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were a 4-piece for that record.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they wouldn't have had...
So it's like, really?
You actually had something...
Because there's a song on that record called White Lightning, and it was all about Steve and his struggles, and I think some of the music he even wrote before he died and stuff. So, like, that's a good song and a good lyric.
Yeah.
But... Walk the dog. Oh my gosh.
Like just like it's kind of your own...
way. Tidy your room. Come on, get real.
Yeah, it's like
let's get the rock out of here.
Oh man.
It's so bad.
That is so bad.
Yeah.
So speaking of lyrics,
I
was thinking we could try something. So I found a lyric generator online.
A lyric generator?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So you put in some words and it spits out a song. So I thought we could make a Def Leppard song on the spot.
What?
Because we have a great singer here.
Where?
I don't know. We'll find one.
But I'm sick. I can't sing today.
Oh, you got it. So it's going to ask some questions. So I'm going to ask you some questions.
You're going to ask me some questions.
And I need you to give me words and things like that. So we're going to do a song, and it's asking for the song length. So right off the bat, I'm going to say it should be short and sweet. So you can do short and sweet, medium and mediocre, or about the protagonist.
Well,
so
it's going to be mediocre.
Well, let's say short and sweet because we don't have a lot of time. The title is going to be either short and obscure, about the protagonist, or about the predicament. What do you want?
You pick.
Okay. Okay, we're going to make it about the predicament.
Okay.
Random shooping, they call it. So they don't have haze, unfortunately.
Come on.
But they've got shoop, sha-la-la-la-la, boom boom, shake the boom boom, tra-la-la-las, 5, 6, 7, 8, or oh. What do we want to get in there?
Oh.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So the narrative viewpoint is coming from the first person, second person.
First person.
Okay, yeah, I agree. All right. 2 comparable things the protagonist loves.
Okay.
So it could be the name of a food. It could
sugar.
Okay.
Obviously.
All right.
We got to do sugar.
All right. I think if this is a Leopard album, there's got to be something about rock.
Yep.
Or rocking.
Beautiful.
Rock.
Sugar, rock.
Rock. Okay. 2 things they hate.
2 things Def Leppard hate?
Not rocking.
Arms?
Oh. Boo.
Boo hiss.
Give me a good one. What did
Def Leppard hate?
What would they hate? I think not rocking is an actual.
Not rocking. Okay.
See if that'll work. I don't even know how these things are gonna. All right. One more.
Okay.
What do you think?
What
do they hate?
One more thing that they hate? Amps.
What? Amps?
Yeah, don't they just record DI with, it's all...
Okay.
They don't turn up Marshalls and record that way?
All right. What is their occupation? Rocker?
Rockers.
Rocker.
They're definitely rockers.
Okay.
Joe is, anyway.
An adjective to describe them.
Vegan? Does it feel calling vegan? Make it interesting. An adjective, though.
Yeah. So
Vegan's
like
an adjective.
no. So horny.
Yeah.
They sing about sex a lot.
Old.
Oh.
Saggy balls.
I'm leaving horny. 2 leisure activities that they enjoy. So rocking.
Rocking. And rocking with your shirt off. Oiling up your abs. Because he is glistening when he's on stage.
I'm gonna put that and see if this will use it. It might be like that's too long. Okay, 2 words that they like to use.
Hot.
And
rock.
And rock. Oh man, that's great. Okay, 2 friends they like to hang out with.
You.
You.
And me. Pour some sugar on me. You and me, right?
But that's not a friend that they want to hang out with.
Yeah, could be. Okay. Dude, I don't know. If you're talking about Rocket, it could be like Elton John.
Elton John?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do name drop him.
And Freddie, like Killer Queen.
Elton John. Okay.
David Bowie. Genie.
And finally,
Killer Queen.
what's your band name? I think we should be Def Credits.
Dead Flatbirds.
Dead Flatbirds. Oh,
Have we not said that yet?
how have we not said that? Dead Flatbirds. Okay, so write me a song. I'm going to press the write me a song button.
And it just spits out nonsense?
And the song is called How Much Do I Love Rock?
That's a great
by
title.
the Dead Flatbirds.
All right. What are these lyrics?
So
Are they bad? Are they on par with real Leopard lyrics, though?
yeah,
Yeah. All right. Well, that was easy.
maybe.
Do you think this is how they write their songs? Oh, bro. Dude.
Okay, so here's the thing. You're a singer.
That's debatable.
Let's try you singing this song,
These lyrics.
these lyrics.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, that's great. What a great opening line.
Yeah, so
The second line is even better.
so I tried to put a little something together for you.
Oh, this is going to be so bad.
This is going to be bad.
How much do I love rock?
This is going to be bad, people, but
Oh, I can't wait.
we got a little something for Mikey here to try. So
All right.
here, we'll start off with some of this. This is gonna be tough.
I feel like Joe would do that.
Get on with your life as a rocker. I'm a horny kind of person. I like rocking and oiling up my abs. I like to contemplate sugar.
What is happening? I feel like, but when I,
All right, I'll do a change for
oh, it
you.
should be like,
But when I start to daydream,
something like that. Oh, okay.
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
All right, here's a big chorus. Ready? Do you have a chorus there?
do I love rock more than sugar?
I don't know. Is that the chorus?
Yep.
Do I love rock more than sugar?
Yeah.
I like to use words like hot and rock. I like to use words about sugar.
Oh. This is so fun. This isn't even kind of song though. I wish I had. Do you want to try?
No, not at all.
I like to hang out with you, Elton John. But when left alone, my mind turns straight to rock. I hate not rocking and amps, but I just think back to rock, and I'm happy once again.
These lyrics are great.
Okay, next chorus. Ready?
How did it go?
How
Did I write a forgettable chorus?
No, what's the next bit they've got there?
Do I love rock more than sugar?
Is that what it was?
That's what it was.
More than sugar.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I can do this all day. Oh, my balls. Oh.
That was awesome.
But we have to end it with a
Nice.
something like that.
That was fun.
Oh my gosh, man.
Dude, good
Song
for
lyrics
you.
generator. Good for me. That was terrible.
That was hard.
I couldn't come up with anything that. Oh, jeez.
Do you love rock more than sugar?
Do you love rock more than sugar?
I like that. Oh. You guys can use that.
When did you put in the haze? That was great.
Yeah, no, that was just on the fly.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean,
So much fun.
We should have done the whole thing with the haze. Like, what else would sound good with like 1,000 vocals like that?
The whole podcast episode should be done with that.
Yeah.
What were we thinking?
Yeah. You know what? We can turn it on after the fact if you let me. No? Okay.
Should we make out now?
No, you know what it should have been? It should have been like, so what do you give this album? I give it a solid 4.
That's deadly.
Yeah, I should have done stuff like that more.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, guys. I screwed it up.
We're into our closing thoughts.
Oh, we are?
We are.
I said a lot of thoughts.
We did. I feel like
I don't know
there's
if I
not
have
a
much
whole
left.
lot.
Yeah.
We talked about the 90s.
Their movie is amazing.
Their movie is dog shite.
I've got an idea here. I must have been I don't know what I was thinking. I think, if they ever fall on hard times, I think they could implement like a leopard tax on like all those bands from the 80s. And just be like,
100 million records sold? I don't know.
You owe us some money.
So what do you think, like so many of their sort of quote unquote copycats didn't survive? Like Leopard are still around. How come?
Maybe, they're the originators.
Okay.
So you always get points for that, right? One of the 22 immutable laws of marketing. That's right. It's a good book. It's a good book if anybody's interested in marketing.
I actually fell asleep.
One of the laws is the first mover. No, what's it called? Anyway, it's kind of like it's hard to supersede the first company that got there.
Okay.
So think of Kleenex. Kleenex isn't the name of the actual
I'm always
product.
saying Kleenex. Yeah.
Right? Like the product is a tissue or whatever, but you call it Kleenex. Any other poor brand, Scott's or whatever, they've always have to fight against the fact that
People are gonna call it
everybody's going to
Kleenex.
call it Kleenex.
Yeah.
So I think, Leopard got there, first,
Sure.
one of the first to do it. So I think that kind of gives them a bit of that. I think that's another reason why, like maybe, Motley Crue was able to
Kind of
stay as
survive.
long as they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Bon Jovi.
Yeah, Bon Jovi. So maybe that.
There isn't a whole lot. To me, my answer would be that their songs were always a little bit better than everybody else's. Def Leppard's songs were better than a lot of their competition.
Yeah. Okay, I like that too.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess if it's more about songs than marketing, fine.
Always is to me.
Okay.
I remember reading an interview with Phil Collin back around that slang era, mentioning things like, it was a weird time in the 90s. It almost became uncool to be able to play your instrument well.
Right.
And him addressing that, the lack of guitar solos, lack of people wanting to hear guitar solos because of the whole grunge era coming in.
Did that just come out didn't we talk about that in the last episode? Or 2 episodes?
About Lil Wayne?
Yeah. Oh, maybe it was the Bruce episode.
See, I've read and heard that kind of thing come out of the Leopard camp before.
Yeah.
And I think it's sprinkled with a bit of a cop-out and a whole lot of bullshit.
I agree.
I think that it applied to bands like Def Leppard because they weren't cool. They're not a cool band to listen to. If you listen to any of those Pearl Jam records, Mike McCready is playing his ass off.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yes.
Jerry Cantrell, ring any bells?
Yeah,
Kim
yeah,
Thale,
yeah.
Soundgarden. Billy Corgan is a great guitar player. So I think
And
Phil Collins
even-
saying that, it's like, no, just you guys.
Yes.
Like Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, like they were just, you guys aren't what we want right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems like it's come full circle to a degree. I mean, they still tour and they still put out records. They're still doing this thing. And not a lot of bands that were their competition or their peers are really around and survived. Really doing it.
So let me.
Not a lot of 90s bands are around either, and Def Leppard are still standing.
That's true. Yeah.
They are survivors. We haven't really talked a lot about them just being survivors, man.
Yeah, they went through a lot.
They went through a lot.
lot.
They're still going through a lot. Vivian Campbell's still fighting cancer,
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, went to remission, and then he had to go and do chemo again. So
man.
that beautiful long brown hair, man, it's all gone. That curly hair.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So he lost all his hair. Something like obviously the arm.
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously,
and losing a band member.
Losing Steve Clark. Even like things like Rick Savage's got Bell's palsy.
Really?
So if you ever noticed that.
Oh, I have noticed that.
The side of his face
I
droops
wondered.
because he's got Bell's palsy. So there's just like, the band has been riddled with a lot of tragedy and a lot of like, so for the band to go through all that and then like the 90s.
So you know what that is, though?
And still be able to survive and,
But who else has to deal with cancer in the family, has to deal with Bell's palsy, has to deal with car accidents, has to deal with everybody.
Yeah.
So they should be like everybody's band. You know what I mean? But they never like really commented on it or like really worked it into their art.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of sad because it's interesting to hear when you say all those things, it sounds like a lot, but it doesn't when you think about how long have they been a band?
Over 4 years, yeah.
Right.
77.
Right. Mm. So you talk to any 40-year-old, they have a list of things that have happened in their lives that where you just go like, oh man, you've been through a lot. Like everybody does.
Sure.
And it's kind of sad that they've been through that. It's awesome that they've triumphed over it all.
Yeah.
But the fact that they really never let the scars into the songs is maybe kind of short-sighted.
There's moments of it. And I think that's why I lean towards slang because the guys were going. I think 2 of the band members were getting divorced at the time and breakups and stuff. So the lyrics definitely are a little bit more like not sticky as sweet.
Yeah. Okay.
And then on their last album, Def Leppard, there's a song on there called "Battle of My Own," and it's a darker song. It's Joe Elliott's song, and Rick Allen uses an acoustic kit on that track. The rest of the album is back to that 80s. Thing.
Really?
And then on that one song, he pulls out like, so sometimes there's a little bit of like inconsistency about, I was in the mood for this. Maybe Joe was just in a bad place one night and he wrote this great song and they put it on the record. Yeah. But the rest of the album doesn't sound like that. Like not even close.
Yeah.
So sometimes.
Yeah.
There's tracks on this record that you're like, oh, that doesn't really belong on this album.
Yeah.
If you're going to go pop, go all the way.
Yeah. And to that point, Joe, because I know you love my idea. Please don't just start doing collabs with young artists because that's super corny. But if you
like Taylor Swift.
Oh, they already did?
Not a collab. It was like a live thing they did.
Oh, that's
all
right, I guess. But like,
she's so cool.
I'd love a Taylor Swift song written by Joe Elliott, and that's it. Just like, because they're obviously great, legendary songwriters. Like, use that. Yeah. Like, use that. And I would love to see that. I'd love to see them write for other people and then have them do work with maybe more current producers. And that might mean that they can't rock out as much as they might want to, but that could be something interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only other ideas I wanted to put out there were mostly about Mutt.
Okay.
Because I find him so intriguing. Like I'd love to get like a behind the scenes on Mutt Lange. Like whatever project he's working on, I would love to be a fly on the wall for that. Yeah. I love that he brought, and this kind of goes full circle to that Bono story. I love that he gave so much precedence to or importance to the drums, because as much as in rock music we talk about, the backbeat and in the 50s or whatever, parents being like, no, that's jungle music and all this, the beat and all this stuff. Yeah. But when you think about like, I don't know, whenever I listen to classic rock, I always feel like, where's the drummer? Like other than like Bonham, like the production wise, like you had Ginger Baker would be like hard right in like Cream songs.
Ringo.
Yeah, like even like Mitch Mitchell or whatever.
Sure.
Like I always felt like they were buried, and so it was always like it was really nice that he was just like, oh no, we're gonna hear kicks and snares, and we're gonna hear him throughout the song. Like so, I love that about him.
How familiar are you with any of his other catalog? Like,
So
I had Highway to Hell
DC,
growing up,
yeah.
So, and I knew that was Mutt Lange.
So yeah,
Back in Black, and
I knew that DC was. I didn't realize who else did he work with that I was surprised
the
about.
Cars.
He worked with the Cars?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. Brian Adams, I didn't know that.
Boomtown Rats.
I didn't. Yeah. So that was
And most
interesting.
recently, like Maroon 5, Nickelback.
Really?
Yeah.
Maroon 5?
And obviously Shania.
Yeah, I knew about
Yeah,
Shania.
Hands All Over. That's the last Muse album, or the second last one, Drones. That's Mutt Lange.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mutt Lange and them. That would be really interesting.
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
look that up. But you know what else I really loved? How much
I don't want to get off the Mutt thing.
Okay.
Are you going to switch the Mutt thing?
it's kind of about Mutt, but it's
Okay,
not
go
really.
ahead then. Go ahead then.
But the fact that it took them so long to record, like, what was it 4.5 years to do Hysteria?
Yeah. So they had started in '84 after the completion of Pyromania. Mm-hmm. And then Mutt wasn't. He was involved in the early process of like writing songs for it. But then it was out of exhaustion that he said he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So then they had a stint with Jim Steinman, who had worked with Meatloaf on Bat Out of Hell, which is why they were like, oh, we'll hook Def Leppard up with this guy. But Joe Elliott rightfully says, yeah, but Todd Rundgren produced Bat Out of Hell. Joe Steinman wrote it. So
Nice.
they didn't get along with Jim Steinman at all.
Nice.
So there was a stint there. None of those recordings were ever released. They were scrapped. And they had to pay Steinman a lot of money just to get him out of
Really?
the deal.
Oh, that's brutal.
And so they were working with Nigel Green, who was Mutt Lange's engineer at the time, and but it still just wasn't getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And then Rick had his accident. Joe got like the mumps. Even Mutt Lange was in a bad accident too.
Wow.
So there was just all this stuff surrounding Hysteria that, yeah, they took. I think the rumor or maybe it's a well-known fact is that he took 6 months to mix Women,
Yep.
which is the first song on Hysteria.
Yeah.
6 months to mix a song.
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind?
That's gross.
But hey, man, that album went off to sell over 25 million records worldwide.
Yeah.
So he obviously.
Yeah, I was
Jeez.
the 4.5 number. That was $4.5 million. That's what it was.
Oh, I thought it was years.
Yeah, $4.5
more
million
like three or 4 years to record
do.
them. Yeah,
and
got
you
That's
know,
bananas, eh?
when I heard that though, I was kind of like, because to see what it went on to
dollars?
do.
Pounds or dollars? Because that was the most expensive UK album at the time.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure, but
I
yeah,
think it was a couple million pounds.
yeah. So what I kind of love about that is that I feel like you shouldn't get to like be that big and successful off of like a demo recorded in your room. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to be clear, I love the fact that you can change your entire life with a demo from your room.
No,
I mean,
of
that's the
course.
beauty of rock and roll.
Yeah.
It just, it seems like you should have to spend 2-3 years and $4 million to become, to sell. What did that sell? Like 10 million? 15 million or something like that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like you should, that in terms of like risk reward and stuff, like you should have to put in that kind of
Yeah.
time and money.
Yeah.
But that's,
I remember they had to sell like 4 or 5 million copies.
Yeah,
of Hysteria
just to break even.
Yeah, which is
oh,
just
how
bananas.
scary would that
Yeah.
be?
But as far as the Mutt thing is concerned, they call it the Def Leppard sound.
Yeah.
But I would argue that it's the Mutt Lange sound.
Yeah.
Because Def Leppard would continue to kind of try and recreate it. But even their throwback albums, like even Adrenalize, Euphoria, and even some of their newer stuff where they're trying to recapture the old whatever, still doesn't sound as good as the stuff that Mutt did with them. There's just something that he brought.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Waking Up the Neighbors, in 1991, Bryan Adams put out an album called Waking Up the Neighbors.
Okay. Thank you for the context.
And it's the Def Leppard sound.
Wow.
Like all these layered things. If you're curious.
And it works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian's a great singer. So
Sure. But
Yeah.
it just seems really,
super layered Def Leppard sounding vocals. But everybody knows that Mutt Lange did like most of those layered sounds, all
Yeah.
those harmonies. I mean, that's Mutt. Yeah. I mean, when you watch the classic albums of Hysteria, they're playing the background vocals and stuff. They're like, oh, that's Mutt. Oh, that's Mutt too. And that's Phil Collins saying it.
And then even the way that he processed things, like to get that snare.
Sure.
He's hitting that snare, and then he'll take the snare, put tons of reverb on it, reverse it.
Yeah.
And then take it. So then that's your big lead into it, right? And then you've got the actual
And
hit.
everybody tried to do it in the 80s.
It's insane.
The Quiet Riots, the Rats, everybody tried to do it.
But so I love all of his like studio magic.
Yeah,
right?
and I would say like the guys would go in and play their guitar parts or their drum parts or the vocal parts, and not saying that Mutt Lange didn't put them through the ringer, because it's pretty famous that he did. Yeah. But after they went home, he stayed there.
Yeah,
he never left.
I love that.
Like he made Hysteria. Yeah. He made Pyromania. Like he did those albums.
That sounds so awesome to me. Like honest to God, like I would love to be able to do stuff like that.
So if you listen to Dark Horse, which is the album that he did with Nickelback, there is like, and I listened to it out of curiosity because it was Mutt Lange.
Yeah.
And those drums and those vocals are in there.
Really?
Yeah.
They do Haze?
Oh, yeah.
That was interesting. What about when Imagine Dragons did that song and they've got the Believer?
I don't think it was Mutt, but yeah.
It was interesting to hear that come back and be like, oh, wow, look at that.
Like I remember in the behind the music, so many guys were like giving credit to Def Leppard for so much, even from modern day music at the time, something like Chumbawamba. Remember that? I get knocked down. It sounded like a Def Leppard chorus, and everybody's saying like, yeah, there's so much that people borrow from Leppard. If you watch the VH1 Ultimate albums, on Pyromania, which I think is actually more interesting and was better. But guys from System of a Down and all those bands are Def Leppard, man. Pyromania when I was a kid, it's like, it's all in there.
Yeah.
Same with me. You know, it was like learning to develop melody and stuff long before I became obsessed with the Beatles.
Yeah.
I listened to Def Leppard. I listened to Bon Jovi. I listened to Bryan Adams, man. All those like pop stuff. DC, you know, and Mutt Lange just happened to be kind of involved with all these artists. So his name was popping up all the time. So, do you have any closing thoughts? We've gone.
I think
we've gone on.
We've gone on, and that's good. I'm good.
We're gonna have to break this up into a 4-parter. Thanks for joining us. We had a blast. We hope you did too. Until the next time.
Peace.
You have recently enjoyed a Check the Credits podcast, a program I can only assume you've enjoyed on a radio receiver that would have been at your disposal. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And I have no idea what any of that means because I'm a broadcaster guy from the 1920s. Thank you, and good night.